Well, it's time for my meditation, actually. Not my reflection of the entrepreneurial journey, but in a weird way it is, because our entrepreneurial journeys have their ups and downs. And over the last couple of years, I've collected, or I've written a whole bunch of meditations which I've used to help me through my entrepreneurial journey. And today's entrepreneurial meditation, as you see on the screen, reads like this. My values will guide me along my entrepreneurial journey. I know them, I stay true to them. Let me repeat. My values will guide me along my entrepreneurial journey. I know them, I stay true to them. One of the most disconcerting parts of our journey as entrepreneurs is when we actually have our principles, our values challenged. When we are in a situation where we have our personal values, and perhaps it might be to get some work that we find ourselves in a particular bind where somebody is offering to make it easier, if you know what I mean, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, if we do a certain thing. And I'm talking about things like corruption. I'm talking about all the negative parts of our entrepreneurial journey that we're exposed to. And what's very difficult always is being in the situation, because you know, for me it angers me, because I know always what my personal answer is. But it angers me that I'm challenged always, my values are challenged. And then I started thinking about them, thinking about it, that maybe these are tests always that come to me for me to really understand what my value sets are. And I see our values as incredibly important guides to our entrepreneurial journey that keep us true to who we are. The second part says, I know them. And this is something very interesting. One of the things that I do with many entrepreneurs is to take them through what is called the Barrett's Values Test, for them to understand what their values are. Because when you ask them what their values are, they'll list a few things that are quite generic, but they don't truly know what their values are. So for me, I think, or for you, I think what would be very valuable is to really get to understand what your values are and in what priority. And then the last piece says, I stay true to them. And that's really what we need to do, is stay true to those values. It's when you know them and stay true to them that you continue on your path to success and are not then tempted by any things that are incongruent with your values. And this might be true for the opposite. You might be somebody whose value is to do that, and is to do those things where brown envelopes are a norm. And for you, this is not a moralistic discussion. For you then, to be in an environment where that is not actually considered a good business practice, which it should never be, but then you'll find yourself, like many people who have, let's call it questionable morals, find themselves in businesses that require it. Very often it has a terminal ending. You cannot be a priest running a brothel, okay, and then explaining to the people who work there that they shouldn't be working there. If there's an incongruence with your values and where you're working, okay, it really is the beginning of the end, and that both works in both ways. So know your values and stay true to your values. Well, that's